This is a real-time tutorial of how I created these two pieces. Welcome back, everyone. Like I said, it is a real-time tutorial, so grab your markers and get situated, and we're gonna make these pieces together. So first I'm just gonna use my pencil. I always use pencil. That way you can really see how it's going to turn out. And if you don't know how to brush letter at all, I suggest checking out my beginner's tutorial. This is a little bit more of an advanced, it's not super advanced, it's fairly easy, but you definitely want to know how to brush letter. So first I'm going to use my mechanical pencil, and I'm pretty happy with how this came out, but I wasn't obsessed with how the E was, so luckily I used pencil. I could just go in and redraw this E. And I actually liked it better the first time, so I'm gonna try this again. And let's see if the third time's a charm. And here we go. Here is my E. Alright, now we are moving on to my purple color. You could use any solid color. I'm using a light purple Tombow dual brush pen. And if you don't know how to brush letter, I suggest you visit my channel and see the beginner's guide video, because you definitely want to know how to brush letter before moving on to this shadow effect. You can still see the pencil lines over this color, but I find that with the Tombow ink, and I'm sure other brush pens do it as well, but you can erase the lines even though you are drawing over the pencil lines, so you won't be able to see those later, but you could use a solid color if you want to avoid erasing altogether. Now we're moving on to my small nib Tombow dual brush pen. I love this brush pen. You get so much control, and we're imagining a light on the top left corner, and this is the same method I used in the Courage real-time video, except we are not touching the black line to the purple line. We're leaving a little bit of a gap, so we're on the right side of each line. Like I said, the sun is coming from the top left corner, and now we are going on the right side of each line. So if you're looking at a line and you see a left side and a right side, you're going to be on the right side of each line. And a lot of people forget inside the loops and underneath the letters, but it's important to do it throughout the entire word and inside these loops, and to really complete the look and have a cohesive shadow effect. It is confusing because once the line hits a certain point, the right side switches to the opposite side. So if you just really visualize where the sun is coming from, and that is just what helps me. And I forgot that little guy in the top of the H. You just go back and look, make sure you have all your shadows. Sometimes I do leave shadows out because I can tell it's going to be too close to the line and it won't fit. I just added in that little line there. I did miss that little guy. And alright, now we are moving on to our second shadow color. I'm using a Tombow dual brush pen, number 75, and we are going on all of the right sides of the black line. So we're not going directly over the black line. We are sticking to the right side of the black line to really give it that perfect shadow effect. This is a double shadow. This is one of my favorite styles. I'm going to be doing this a lot in my monthly plan with me's for 2020, and I already have a ton of trackers and stuff on my channel, so if you haven't checked out my channel, make sure to do that. I am a small channel and I get really excited for every single subscriber, and I really do try to reply to all the messages I get on here, and I do get a lot of DMs on Instagram, so if I don't reply, I am sorry. Try to ask any questions on public comments, that way other people can see the answers if they're wondering the same questions as well. So there you have the hope. I hope you did that with me. Let me know how it turned out and how this video was, if it was helpful or not helpful enough. I am newer to making videos, so I am always trying to improve how I film and everything. So now we're moving on to the happy word. And again, I'm using my mechanical pencil to write it out first. I'm making sure to change up the baseline because I don't want the letters, the bottom of the letters, to match up perfectly. And I'm going to be using a purple metallic Bic marker and a darker gray color and a lighter gray color. So I'm going in with my Bic metallic purple marker, and I'm actually going to be using the faux calligraphy method because this isn't actually a calligraphy brush pen. This is just a regular marker, so you could do this with anything that you have. It doesn't have to be a brush pen, like I said. And then for all the downstrokes, we're just going to go back in and make the lines thicker. So this is what's known as faux calligraphy because we're not using an actual brush pen. And I used this method a lot in the beginning because I didn't have a lot of brush pens on hand. When you're first starting out, you normally don't have a ton of supplies because it does get really expensive. So this method really comes in handy when you don't have a ton of brush pens and you already have a bunch of colored markers that you would like to have the brush pen effect. So we're just going in all the downstrokes, making those lines thicker. I'm obsessed with metallics. I feel like there's nothing else like metallic markers. They are my favorite to work with, and I do love the Pilot Gold paint marker. That is another favorite of mine. So now I am pretty satisfied with my lettering, and now we're going to go in with the Tombow brush pens. But first I'm going to erase all my pencil marks, and the eraser does kind of affect the look of the metallic. It kind of gives it a gradient effect look, so it doesn't really bother me. And then obviously just wipe away all the eraser marks. So I ended up choosing these two markers, the 65 Tombow dual brush pen and the 52. So I'm taking the darkest gray that I have, and you don't have to use a Tombow dual brush pen as long as you have a darker gray and a lighter gray. Or you could use different colors altogether. You don't have to use gray, but for this tutorial I'm going to use two different grays, and I'm just using my gray on all the downstrokes. So like in my other tutorials, I talk about going through the entire word, which I do like that effect, but sometimes I only do the shadows on the downstrokes. So a lot of the times you will see the shadow effect throughout the entire letter, and you'll see what I'm talking about if you look at my Courage real-time tutorial. It's throughout the entire letter, but for this word I just really wanted to emphasize the downstrokes only. So now that I have all the dark downstrokes, I'm going in with my light gray on the right side of all of the dark gray downstrokes, and this really makes the word pop. It gives it the double shadow effect, and this second color is a little bit hard to see on camera, but it is supposed to be very light. So I hope this tutorial helped you, and I hope you sat there and followed along and found this tutorial helpful. And that is it for this word. I hope you are happy with how yours turned out. Oh, I'm such a dork. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching and have a doodle-filled day.